In 1986, we also introduced the next generation of video game systems, the new 7800, and it was an immediate smash hit. Early in 87, new super game titles like one-on-one basketball, Winter Games, and Sky Fox will be released to take advantage of the 7800's great graphics, lifelike animation, and superb sound effects. Plus, there will be other hot new titles from such top software companies as Activision, Electronic Arts, Broderbund, and Epix. And at under $100, the 7800 is one of the best home entertainment values in the world. That's why we're telling millions of consumers that Atari has reinvented the video game.
Atari would like to thank you for taking us into your homes. We wish you all a happy holiday.
Atari just reinvented the video game with this, the Atari 7800.
Incredible, huh?
So powerful it plays like the best arcade game with real joysticks, right? So advanced to play super games, computer games no other video game system ever played. Just look at these. It even plays all Atari 2600 games. Great, huh? Hey, oh, the new Atari 7800. We reinvented the video game.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the ship, not a sensor was flashing, not even a blip. When there was a huge crash, to the bridge I then ran, and thereupon St. Nicholas with joystick in hand. With Atari's Miss Pac-Man, he gobbled and scored. Then on to Jungle Hunt, he played till he roared. From out of his sack, he pulled dozens of games, all the great ones from Atari, our favorite names. Before I could thank him, he beamed out of sight. With a Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays from Atari.
How's it going, everybody? It's time for another great Mr. Poestyle video, and it's been a while. Now, I'm finally getting this video together here. Been a few reasons why it hasn't happened. And, you know, this was supposed to be my Christmas special like I had the last 2 years. I put together some Christmas specials with memories and stuff like that, and had them all set and had them uploaded for noon on Christmas Day the last 2 years. And it just wasn't happening this year. Because of time, because of things. There's a whole lot of personal things going into it, but yeah, my videos just haven't been coming out as often as they used to, and there's just not a lot of time, and of course health issues and stuff like that all play into that. But this is my unboxing of the new Atari 7800 Plus from Atari. Now, when this was announced earlier this year, for about 10 seconds, I thought, I'm not going to order that. I already have the 2600 Plus. The 2600 Plus looked like my old Atari 2600 from back in the day. Plus, it played the 7800 games. I don't need another one. And that 10 seconds passed, and I'm like, of course I'm going to get this thing. I always do. So this year, I said, instead of ordering from Atari, because last year, if you remember, my 2600 Plus, I ordered day one, second one, and did not get it when I was supposed to. It got pushed back a little bit. So, since Amazon was also offering it, I said, this time I am ordering this thing from Amazon. So I put in my information, the card I was going to use. Everything was set from day one. Every time I looked, it was there. It was going to mail out as soon as it was available to mail out. So we head on into Thanksgiving week of this year. My son, back in April, joined the U.S. Air Force, got through his basic training and everything, and we went to see him for that. And so we got plane tickets to go see him at his tech school over Thanksgiving week out near Seattle, Washington. So we go out there over Thanksgiving. And that is when, towards the end of that week, Thanksgiving Day and maybe the Friday after, at some point, I think it was the Friday after, Black Friday maybe of all things, I got a message from Amazon saying, well, we want to verify that you still want to use this payment method that you used, which of course I did. It's a good payment method. It's one that I use for certain purchases and then pay down right away. So, but the email says, To confirm that this is the payment method you want to use, you got to do this from a desktop. I'm the whole way across the country from Pennsylvania to the state of Washington in a hotel room. I have no desktop. So I'm trying to cheat it somehow and bring up the browser on my phone. It's a no-go. So we're flying back Saturday evening to Pennsylvania. We get back late at night. We drive home from the Pittsburgh airport to home, and I get on the desktop computer at home, and I say, yes, this is the payment method I want to use, and I kind of got a message back, too late now, right, for the pre-orders. Not really so much too late now, but it was. I mean, really it was. They already sent out everything that they had, or were getting ready to send out everything they had, and since I wasn't able to verify this perfectly fine payment method that I had on a desktop, it was going to be late. So I was going to have to wait for their next round that they got, and who knows when that was. There was estimated times, and that constantly changed, estimated times when the 7800 plus was going to come to me. Before Christmas, after Christmas, in the new year, before Christmas, after Christmas, a week before Christmas, a few days before Christmas. Nope, it's coming the day after Christmas. Finally, a Christmas miracle happened, and my Atari 7800 Plus came from Amazon Christmas Eve. So this past Tuesday, as I'm recording this, Christmas Eve, I got my 7800 Plus. It's a Christmas miracle. Again, it's from Amazon and not Atari this time. However, the shipping box that it came in was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. When I open it, there are some dents. The corners are dented, smashed up. Typical shipment from Atari, if you ask me. So I don't know if this happened in Amazon warehouse, if this happened at Atari before wherever they have it, their warehouse that likes to bang stuff up, sent it to Amazon. I don't know. Hopefully everything inside is fine, because I have had it now since Christmas Eve. So this is some 4 or 5 days later. I still haven't opened it. I was waiting to do this video for me, for you, for us. So I put it under the Christmas tree. Okay, so if you don't know, the Atari 7800 is backwards compatible with the 2600 originally, and it was slated to come out back in '84. Actually, it was developed, designed by General Computer Corporation, GCC. And if that name rings a bell, that's because these are the guys that made the Super Missile Attack add-on board for Missile Command, Atari arcades. They're also the ones that came up with Crazy Auto, which eventually became Ms. Pac-Man, and they made Junior Pac-Man for Midway. They made that Super Missile Attack board, and Atari was not happy with them for doing that. And so they were going to sue them. But eventually they came to terms, we're going to hire these guys instead. They're great at what they do. So they did have them make some games for the 5200. And then this is the first time that Atari didn't design their own home console. They did the 2600, the 5200 Super System. The 7800 they gave to GCC and said design the board and everything, and the first so many games for the thing, and we'll put that out. So they put it in their hands because Atari had been messing some stuff up. So it did get a test launch, a soft launch in '84 in California, parts of California and New York. But just a month or two later, Warner sold Atari, because of all their losses, to Jack Tramiel from Commodore fame. He was kind of on the outs with Commodore, so he bought Atari. So they have this new system here. But it turns out that GCC was not paid for making this design for their game system, and so Tramiel thought that it was Warner's responsibility to pay them, and Warner said, no, you bought it, it's your responsibility for this. So the 7800 was put on a back burner. Actually, at the time, they were calling it the Atari 3600. I really should have wrote notes here. Atari 3600, when it was in development, was the code name for it. But that became the 7800 Pro system that we know and love today. And it was put on hold until they could figure out this whole mess. And Trammell was more of a home computer guy anyway. That was his thing. So Atari, under Trammell, moved on with their home computer type stuff. At the same time, back then, Nintendo was looking to break into the console market here in North America and the rest of the world. And you know, we had that big video game crash of North America stores. People weren't willing to have new game consoles out there, so Nintendo was looking for somebody to release their Famicom under a new package and have it done over here. So Atari almost released the Nintendo over here. I believe what happened was Atari had the rights for Donkey Kong, for home computers. I can't remember the exact story here. Anyway, ColecoVision, even though they had Donkey Kong already on their ColecoVision console, they brought out a home computer version for the Atom. This kind of fired up Atari. So Atari's mad at Nintendo now for this deal that shouldn't have been a deal. So they decided, no, they're not going to bring out the Atari Nintendo and the Atari Famicom over here in North America. So a lot of stuff going on all at once. The system is put on hold. Trammell and them, they're into the computers and everything, doing that kind of thing. The NES finally does come out over here and is doing very well. And at the same time, you had the Sega Master System come out, and it's doing fairly better in other countries than it is here. So then, once everything was settled with GCC, Trammell gave the go-ahead, the green light to bring out this Atari 7800 over here. So some were already released, like I said, in the test markets. I believe the original price was around $140, and they had a certain lineup of games back in '84 for it. And by the time they brought out what was left, all of the game systems, the 7800s that were sitting on shelves for 2 years, I believe they said that they brought the price down to like $70, so about half the price for those ones that were there. But 2 years later, it was still the same lineup of games that they came out with 2 years before. Now Nintendo was just blowing people away with their games and everything. We didn't get a whole lot from Atari for the 7800 once it was released. And then the price did end up going back up a little bit once they started making new units to put out there on the shelf. So we all know how the history went here. NES, at least over here in the US, just took off like crazy. You also had your 7800 and your Master System come out. From what I've read, it sounds like the 7800 actually did a little bit better over here in the US than the Master System did, but the Master System took off in other places. So they got a foothold in there, but overall there were only 59 officially released 7800 games in its lifespan. Now you have a lot more hacks and homebrews and stuff like that, great games for the thing. But the 7800 was great because out of the box you could play almost all of your Atari 2600 games. That's kind of what they were banking on, since they weren't bringing out so many games so fast. Trammell got a little cheap with the thing. If you notice, some of these 7800 cartridges, a lot of them actually have just a black and white label on them instead of full color. They just didn't put a whole lot of money into the thing after that, and the games were coming out slowly. So in the meantime, if you had a 2600 with 20, 30, 50 games, at least you had that. You know, you could put your old games in there and play those. But in the long run, I mean, we lasted from 84, soft launch, 86, to around 91. It was actually officially canceled in 92. You got to think 92, by that time you had your Genesis and you had your Super Nintendo and stuff. So, but it does have its die-hard fans of the system. It came packaged with pole position too. A lot of people really like that game. Over here in the US for its release, you had the Pro Line controller or Pain Line controller, the Coffin controller, the CX24, and I do have one sitting here. This is what we got. I do have a few of these sitting around. Not the greatest, not the most comfortable. Now, a lot of the 7800 games didn't use more than one button, like the 2600, but there were some that used two buttons, so you had them here. It's just not really all that comfortable of a controller when you're sitting there and you're getting into it and, you know, trying to play. But this is an original. Atari hasn't remade these yet. I don't think they're going to. But when it came out over in Europe, and originally they weren't going to bring out the 7800 in Europe, but they did, and it sold rather well over there. And over in Europe, we need to have things a little better organized. They got the CX78, or better known as the European controller. And what you're seeing here is an original. This isn't Atari's new remake that they made within the last year or so. I bought this after I got my 7800. I wanted to try out a gamepad instead of that crazy coffin controller. You know, a lot of us that got in the Nintendo later, we loved the gamepads for Nintendo. And they tried, but I was not a fan of this. These were going for a really high price, these originals, before Atari made the new ones. I don't know if they still are, but I didn't get it for too bad of a price 6-7 years ago. Whenever I bought it from overseas on eBay, and it was shipped here. Had tried it out, and it was okay, but it wasn't as comfortable for me, especially with this darn cord right here. But it did have a thumbstick that you can unscrew so that you have your directional pad, and I just dropped it clear across the floor. And then you could just use it that way. Let me pick that up. I have a heater sitting here. It's freezing cold out here. And that thumbstick just fell in front of my heater. So yeah. This is a heck of an intro here. I'm all over the place. I really need to write down what I want to say. But yeah, it was a pretty neat console. It was just, if it would have come out a few years earlier, I think it would have done a lot better, at least here in the States. Here it is. This is mine. And I didn't own this back in the day. When I started collecting everything again, 2015, 16, my best friend from growing up, he said, I have an Atari 7800 if you want one. And I said, well, sure, I want one. Well, it turns out after we had graduated from school and I went into the military, he got an apartment with another friend of ours while they were going to school after high school. And his friend brought over his childhood 7800 and actually brought over two. They had two. One of them had stopped working. Something wasn't right. They bought another one back in the day. And so when I went to my friend's house there, in 2016 or whatever, he gave me two of them. And I actually replaced these buttons myself. I bought the new ones. And the other one, the other 7800, I still have. But player one joystick won't work. I think it's one of the chips inside. I just never messed with it. This one worked fine as soon as he gave it to me. It's a little scratched up, as you can see. And I did do the composite mod to it. I know a lot of people hate that. I did do one to it, and I put them right here. Works great. But some of these, the originals, had an expansion port on them. And that expansion port was for a keyboard to make it more like a computer. They were going to make a laser disc system for this thing. So they really were going to do a lot of stuff with this system, and then that kind of all got canceled. Tremels got involved, and they sat on shelves for years. But Atari 7800, you can find some really fun games for it out there. So here's what we are here for anyway. The Atari 7800 Plus from Atari, a new Atari. And as you can see, my original 7800 is bigger than the box for the 7800 Plus. Of course, they made it a bit smaller here. And another difference you will see is it comes with the new wireless CX78 Plus wireless controller, the European controller. And we got our little rainbow stripe is bigger on this one, like the original European release, not like the US release. Why they did that, I'm not sure. Maybe because the new the company that owns Atari now, I believe they are from France, so they would have had the European release back in the day. Maybe they gave us that stripe like that because they were giving us the original CX78, the European controller. I don't know why that happened. But this comes with your 7800 Plus, which plays your 7800 and 2600 games, your CX78 Plus wireless gamepad, Bentley Bears Crystal Quest, which was a newer game. I actually bought it for my Atari VCS digitally, so we'll have the cartridge here now. You get an HDMI cable and a power cable. You're not going to get the brick. You don't get that most of the time these days with anything. So provide your own brick. Find one from your cell phone or whatever. You should have one laying around. Plug it in, plug it in. Our box is colorful. I do like this. The little slogan, backward compatible with the greatest decade ever. So that's kind of funny, cool. But that's what it says. It's the greatest decade ever. And I'm going to go ahead and say it right here, even though this is a month after people received this. I haven't watched any videos on this thing, except for Gen X Grown Up John unboxed the super cool edition they sent to him, the press release version or whatever that came with all the games. And there are new games, and in case you didn't know, they're not really brand new Atari games. I think most of them, if not all of them, were available on Atari Age. They were actually homebrew games. And then Atari bought the Atari Age. And these homebrew games, some of them they made official. Robert DiCrescenzo made, sorry if I say it wrong, Bentley Bears Crystal Quest. So if you were a part of that, you could have shopped and bought these cartridges from Atari Age back before they were an official release. I didn't buy all the new ones that they have available. I only bought 2. And I have a bunch of games sitting here, but a Fatal Run is one that I did buy last year, that and Ninja Golf. But I got Bonnie Bob Strikes Back, and I got Space Duel. So they're not even opened yet. I opened this one for an unboxing, and then my Fatal Run for the 2600 finally came 13 months after I paid for the thing. So that's the 2600 version. Okay, we're just going to open it up and see what's inside the box. There's one more thing that I need to cut. There's a tab here. Let's open it up and I'll hold things up for you. There we go. There's our little Atari 7800 Plus. There she is. And everything else, like our cables and games, should be on this side, I would imagine. We got our own little box here off to the side. Let's see, it's dented too. See, so that's in warehouse somewhere. It got all beat up too. I don't know if I showed that. I know I mentioned it. This box got beat up, even though the Amazon shipping box was perfectly fine, and this sat snug inside. There didn't look like there could be any movement possible. Now, I'm not a big box collector, so that's okay for me, but it's not really acceptable. There are people out here that want to keep these boxes nice and new, and yeah, so that's not cool. to get it all beat up like that. I'm gonna open this puppy up. What do we got? What do we got? What's this? What's this? So, here we go. Atari box, nice burgundy color. And inside, we have, of course, our wires. We're gonna have our USB-A to USB-C for your power supply. And then your HDMI. This should be maybe HDMI. No, I got a USB. I got two of them. Okay. Oh, one's for the power, one's for the controller. USB-A, USB-C. We got two of those. Here's my HDMI. Just your typical little run-of-the-mill HDMI. And inside, we don't get the full box for Bentley Bear. If you ordered it separate, you get that. But you do get a little sleeve. We've seen this with Atari releases recently. So you got your little sleeve. And there's our cartridge. No instruction manual or anything. Bentley Bear, the unofficial Atari mascot. And then on the other side, in this plastic tray, there it is. There is our 7800 European controller wireless. CX78 Plus wireless USB-C port there for charging. You have your button to sync the thing. Down inside we have a little thumbstick for it. And we have our dongle. So you can use this with your 7800, your 7800 Plus. It's got the 9-pin there. But it also has a dongle with a USB to use this thing on your laptop or PC or whatever. So pretty neat. Pretty neat. How does this compare? I never bought the new wired version from Atari. So how does this compare to the original release from back in the 80s? Yeah, same. Looks like the same mold. Pretty much the same thing. Will this thumbstick screw into that thumbstick? No, because I just dropped it again. Yeah, let's take our old thumbstick. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. It doesn't seem to be. Unless I'm screwing something up, I don't think it's an exact fit. One for one. No. Yeah, it's not screwing into the old one. Which is fine, because we have a new one. But aside from that, I'm not going to use the thumbstick anyway. Not a big fan of it. But yeah, pretty neat. We got our little wireless controller here. We got our 1 and 2 button. The thing with this is, you know, you don't have a select and start button on it like you did the NES. All of your buttons are on your actual console anyway, so wireless is convenient just to sit back and play. But if you want to reset your game, you want to pause your game, etc., kind of like the Master System, you're going to have to be close enough or get up and walk to your console to do that anyway. It's not on the controls. So let's just put this back here. Now the shell itself for the original 7800 is said to be from the Atari 2800. If you remember that. That was also the Sears Video Arcade 2 shell. Only they moved the buttons down. They weren't big clunky buttons. So same shell. So we just had General Computer Corps made the innards, the guts, and made it so that it would fit in that shell for the 2800 that wasn't successful back in the day. The Sears Video Arcade 2. They used that shell but moved the buttons down below. I have one of those, if I remember. When I take everything back inside, we'll do that comparison or show you. But here we have our console. Okay, and there is an instruction book for Bentley Bear down below the console. So there you go. You do get that. You don't get a box, you get a sleeve. But you get your Bentley Bear instruction manual. That's great. Glad they did that. Modern retro, and then full color. So that's nice. That is nice. Again, you can buy this game separately if you have a 7800 and you just want the cartridge. You don't have to have the 7800 Plus to play it. So you can buy it separately boxed. It will come with a box if you do it that way. And this just tells us our quick start guide, how to set everything up, how to play, how to pair your new controller, wireless controller with it. And now I did have a question from the Gaming Road Warrior. We talked to him. He got his actually just before I got mine and set his up for Christmas. And he did not care for that controller, that wireless controller. So he said, I'm just going to use a Genesis controller for it. And he hasn't had an Atari for a long time. I had to tell him, well, that's fine for 2600 games and 7800 games that only use one button. But if you want to use two buttons for the Genesis controller on your 7800 Plus or your 7800 original, you're going to have an adapter. And I bought this, I don't remember when it became available, a few years back, from Retro HQ, the Mega 7800. So you have this controller option. If you want, you can use old Pro line controllers. You can buy European controllers. Atari has their new 7800 CX78 European controllers available. You can use paddles from the 2600 on this thing. You can use your CX40 Atari 2600 controller for 2600 games. But if you want to use that Genesis controller on this thing, you're going to need to pick up one of these, or if there's a competitor out there that has something similar, you just plug this into your 7800, your 7800 Plus, plug in your Genesis controller here, and it'll light up the mode. It knows for your light guns, 2-button, 3-button, or 6-button Genesis controller. It'll light up for what you have there. So you can use your Genesis controllers on it if you buy one of these from Retro HQ. And let me get everything organized here. I don't have any room for this. So that gives you more options anyway. There are people out there. One that definitely comes to mind is BD Retro Mods. Brian makes controllers for other systems. So check him out if you haven't already. And maybe you can find a new controller from there. Now for me, I can use this, and I have my Master System controllers. I have Genesis or Mega controllers. I'll just plug this into the 7800 Plus. I've got so many controller options now. You plug this in to the end here, and now you can use your Master System controller for the thing. One of the other things I want to try, and again, I haven't watched anybody's video on here to see what people were doing. I have an 8-bit DOE Genesis controller that I use with my original Genesis all the time. So you take the dongle of that, you plug it right in there, and if it's not already, you pair the thing. Now you have another option over your new wireless controller that came with the thing. Maybe this will feel better for you. You can use your 8-bit DOE controller wirelessly. Now, I'm saying that because I'm assuming that is why not. But we'll try it out to make sure I'm correct on that before this video is through. But yeah, you have options, and that's always a great thing. Now, one final thing I will do here for this segment of the video is let's just compare the two. Of course, it's supposed to be only like 80% of the size of the original, smaller fella. There you go. 7800 Plus, 7800 original. And even when you turn it over to the back, you see they have this area here that was like for wrapping your RF cord around it for storage. They even just threw that in here, right, to make it look authentic. Pretty sweet. It looks really nice. It doesn't say Pro System on it because it's a 7800 Plus now. We've moved on from Pro System, right? Maybe. But you still have your power, your pause, your select and reset all right on the front of the thing. So that is pretty cool. I like that. On the back of the system, HDMI. You have your power, USB-C for your power cord. And then you have your ratio. You can play these games in 16:9 and stretch them out, which they already have it set at, or 4:3, your original format for these old games. Pretty slick. And there was no plastic wrap over the top of this. None that I can see. There's already scratches on mine. I know, nitpicky. But those are definitely scratches dug into the thing. And this is a brand new. I hope they didn't send me somebody's return. We'll find out. But now, let's go take a look at it. I'm probably not recording that tonight. But with the magic of video, pow. Let's go try some of these new games and some of the original library games. And some 2600 games in it. Let's just throw some games in, throw them at it, and see what we can do here. These are the newer games that I have sitting around. We got our 2600 game from Audacity Games, Casey's Gold. We're going to throw that in here. I bought the newer Ninja Golf because I never did have it for my collection originally. And Mr. Run and Jump Super Duper Edition. We'll give them all a whirl. Oh, wait. Let's check out a homebrew game at the same time. Atari 7800 Popeye. Again, I haven't watched anybody's videos to know what exactly works and what doesn't work. It's supposed to be a newer firmware than the 2600 Plus has, unless you've done the newer firmwares with it. I have not. Once I got it, I just left it the way it was. I never did go in and do a firmware update on the thing. We'll see what works and what doesn't work with this. Alright guys, let's move on.
Hope we're going to a New Year's Eve party.
I'd prefer an office party.
I want to go to a school Christmas party.
McDonald's Chicken McNuggets 20-pack, the life of any holiday party.
How do I look?
Delicious.
Golden brown is your color.
Whoopee! Let's go to a sleigh ride party.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Parties. That's all you 20-packs ever think of.
Of McDonald's.
Time for McDonald's gift certificates. 50 cents each or book of 10 for $5.
Now at Sears, a Christmas of red ribbon values, including Sears' best-selling video game, Video Arcade. On sale now for only $134.99, our lowest price ever. And don't miss the full assortment of game cartridges available at everyday low prices. Or try your hand at Sears' wide selection of 1- and 2-player handheld sports games. Our everyday low price is $12 to $13 lower than last Christmas. To wrap up a beautiful Christmas, you can count on Sears.
We hope the special lift you get this holiday season lasts all year long. Happy holidays from Eaton Park.
According to legend, little folks know Hills is where the toys are. Hills Toy Layaway, just 10% down, a small service charge. Lays away toys, little and large. Hundreds of toys. Express layaway too. So layaway is even easier for you. Remember, Hills Toy Layaway. One reason they're different and why they say Hills is where the toys are.
At low prices every day.
Don Mallard, captain of the U.S. video game team.
When I'm not going for high scores in the arcades, I'm home playing games on my Atari 7800. As an expert, I like the 7800 because there are great arcade hits like Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong Jr., adventure games like Impossible Mission, sports games like Hat Trick and Real Sports Baseball, action games like Desert Falcon and Karateka, And the 7800 plays all the 2600 games. As a consumer, I like the 7800 because most games cost under 20 bucks.
The Atari 7800, the choice of the experts.
Alright, so here we go. It's been a while since I've done this setup, or even since I've been up here for this setup. I have my 7800 Plus sitting here. I did charge up my new CX78 Plus wireless. I got the dongle, 9-pin dongle in. Let's just start off with Bentley Bearer, if I can get it out of here. The Crystal Quest that came with the system. Why not? Why not? Let's pop it in, make sure everything's hooked up correctly. Oh, that's a tight fit. Heard everything grinding away there. Turn the power on. Got our Atari screen. 7800 Plus 2.0. And of course the cat is here right on cue to bother me. We're loading game. Again, this is an emulation device, so we're pulling up the game here for emulation. There it is. Turn the sound up a little bit. That is where the teddy bears have their picnic. Okay, we hit a reset for start on our console. And again, right off the bat, this controller is just a little snug. Don't hit that. Again, don't hit that. Okay, we use our other button to fire. Just like Mario, if you hold down your number 1 button, you'll run. Boney! No! I'm terrible at that. Well, dead meat for me. Dead meat. You start out with nothing to shoot. Pick this up. Jumps are a little short. Man, that was close too. I don't know if I can get the jumping down, maybe I'll be alright. It's a little bit harder, the button layout on here, than on an NES controller. Trying to jump, but that would be even harder still, I think, with a Pro Line controller. That would probably just really suck. But doing the run jump, the spacing of these buttons, see, I miss it each time. They're just a little too far apart. Yeah, it's not going so well here. Alright, well anyway, would prefer to use a different controller for this game, a little bit closer buttons. What did I do, run out of time or something there? I wasn't even looking. Oh, my energy level ran down, I see. I can't get up and over that. And I just did, so I'm a liar. Yeah, definitely should have seen more games like this for Scrapyard Dog. Now, I didn't bring Scrapyard Dog up here to try out. I only brought a few games up, so some old, some new. and dead. Okay, we can't waste too much time though on this. I want to try out I haven't even opened this one yet. This is Fatal Run 2600, the re-release, the new release from Atari. This one I had ordered for 13 months before it finally sent. I think it was. So kind of crazy. It's crazy. Do 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 do. You know, it's a newer game by Atari, so it should have fired up, and it did. Alright, moving on. We did that Fatal Run. Let's do the 7800 Fatal Run. Our little sleeve here. I hope the wife doesn't come in the room now. I have this living room trashed. The laptop up here and wires right across and pile of games. Fatal Run 7800. I just want to make sure everything's working fine with my new system. So. I didn't bring my handy dandy box cutter in here to open the games that weren't open yet. Oh, clear off road, clear off the road. Oh no! Get back on the road. Alrighty. It's a hit. Oh goodness. That is a very, very tight fit. Next up, we will try out Space Duel. Have you played Atari today? Poestyle. Oh, looking good in the neighborhood. Kaboom! And we got our newer games functioning just fine. So far, so good. I do also have the new Ninja Golf. I never had it in my library until they reissued it. And Bonnie Bob Strikes Back. So I haven't even opened a lot of these games. They all just came recently. There we go. Bonnie Bob. Old Miner 2049er. This cat wants so badly to jump on me and all my stuff right now. Where you at, Bonnie Boob? There you are. Are you striking back or what? Well, that's pretty slick. Almost sounds like Superman music. Hurry! Oh, I didn't hurry. Murdered, I tell yous. Can't do that. Can't do that here. Too far, dude. Too far. Oh, stop jumping so far, Pinhead. Those jumps are crazy. Crazy. Game over, man. Game over. One day I gotta give each of these games their own little video. But, let's see here. I'm gonna talk to Gaming Road Warrior. He has his set up. And he's actually going to be having family over today to play. So that's pretty slick. Nobody in this house cares about the 7800 plus but me. Well, it's just me and the wife now, so she doesn't play games. Ninja Golf. Alrighty, you gonna do something? Are you loading or what? Well, that took a while. No. Wow, dude. Surrounded. Oh, I missed it. Oof. Oh no! Okay, that's Ninja Golf. These newer ones out of the way here. expected all those to work just fine. I'm going to get into some older ones, older releases, just Mario Brothers for the 7800. See what else I grabbed here. There you go. Mario is working just fine, as we figured it would. What was the other one? What else did I bring up here? Xevious. Some of these have been quite a while since I've even played them, so if they don't fire up, they probably just need a good cleaning. No game detected. Like that one there. Never blow into your games. It's terrible for them. Alright. And what else do we have here? Got some 2600 games. I want to try a few more 7800 games sitting here. Dark Chambers. Of course, your precursor to Gauntlet, Dark Chambers. Oopsie. Always a fun game. It was back in the day we started out on with Gauntlet at the arcade. Used to love playing that game. And this one they made for the 7800, and there's also a version for the 2600. Yeah, boy. Oh, there you go. Dark Chambers. Working it. Working it. Let's try Xenophobe. Always loved that in the arcades as well. Oof. Boop. That's a giant cranium. That gun. Grenade. Beam me up. Alright, so that one's working. Now, here are the ones that I don't think are going to work. I don't think they got it working with newer firmware even, but we have Double Dragon from Activision. I may be wrong, but I don't think they got this one working. Just a black screen. Just a black screen. And Along with that, we got Rampage by Activision. Yeah. Yep. Just as I suspected. We have that out. And we also have another controller here that I bought from Retro Game Boys years back. And this is their Robotron controller, twin stick controller. And I have Robotron here for the 7800. So, get all the wires out here. Take our dongle out. Let's put our Robotron in. I absolutely love this game with this controller by Retro Game Boys. It's just a little twin thumbstick jobber here. Oh no. I was in a hurry to save the misses. Oh no! Right in the head. Oh no. Mikey! Oof. That's a rough game, man. It's a rough game. Oh. Ugh, man. But anyway, this game here, it doesn't get any better than having one of these. Rather than trying to couple a couple controllers, joysticks together, this is definitely the way to go. The Robotron 2024 gamepad, twin stick. Just an awesome, awesome thing. So I wanted to make sure. I know I tried that in the 2600 Plus, so there was no reason for it not to work here, but wanted to showcase it again. I don't get to play it that often. So now what I want to do is, but I have those ones taken care of, and we did ZBS and all of those. Let's try a couple homebrew games. Blowing it out there. Put my dongle back in for my wireless controller here. Let's try Baby Pac-Man for the 7800 homebrew and see if it'll fire up. there it is. There it is in all of its glory. So it fires up. No! Oh no! I'll blame the European pad on that one. Oh no! Stupid European pad. It's hard to get in those tight corners with this. All right. Oh no! And yeah! Alright, and then one other homebrew that I want to try is my very favorite Popeye. Popeye! My very favorite. My very favorite. Come on, Popeye. Come on, a Popeye. Popeye? Popeye's chicken. Love that homebrew from Popeye's. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No Popeye? Oh, Popeye! There he is. And you thought there was no Popeye. Idiot. I'm not doing well already. Higher points for catching those on the higher levels. I only did that to save that heart. Too much going on. Too much. Alright. We're going extra long here. I'm so happy that Popeye and Baby Pac-Man worked. That is a big, big plus. Now, if I would have done the firmware update on the 2600 Plus, well, I would have figured that out far sooner. But anyway, let's do a couple Atari 2600 games here and then be gone, be done. Mr. Run and Jump Special Edition. I haven't even put this in yet. Waited forever for it. Finally got it there in the summer. He runs and he jumps. That ain't right. Doggy. Alright, good enough. Good enough, Mr. Run and Jump. The cat is back. He is not giving up. A couple more 2600 games. Got Hero, of course, my favorite. Aside from Popeye, my favorite. I've had this one since I was a kid. No kitties. No kitties. No kitties. There it is. Nice bright colors. Actually, I should have brought Alien Abduction in here to give it a shot, but I didn't bring it in, so we spared you that time. An extra game. We'll do that one day. We'll play some Alien Abduction and some Hero, maybe back to back. Oof. Oh, such bright, beautiful colors. Love this game, and it looks fabulous. It plays great on the 7800 Plus. What else did I bring in here? Not too much as far as 2600 games go. Of course, we played Mario Brothers for the 7800, so let's play Mario Brothers for the 2600. Have you played Atari today, boy? I need more coffee. Well, this video, testing it alone, is already at 43 minutes, plus my intro. This might be my longest video ever. Might be. Wow, great graphics. I know, fireball. That's a coin. You might not believe me, but it's a coin. People laugh at this, but it really isn't a terrible version of the game. It's something. If you only had the 2600 at the time, you could make out what it was. Fireball is going ape shite. Run away! Ah! Alright. Our bonus screen. I'm not doing good here. Always crushed this on the NES port. What the heck? And then we got crabs or side crawler freaky fellas. And finally, just to show a paddle game, if you have your 2600 paddles. Now, I would just grab some games real quick. Kaboom is down there somewhere. That would have been the obvious choice. But first glance, first game I had was Circus Atari, the 2600. Warm it up, Chris. Yo, I was about to. That's what I was gonna do. Circus Atari. Circus, circus, circus. Atari. Of course, I grabbed the wrong paddle. I always liked this game, but I was never good at this game. And mostly, we just like to watch the guys splatter. Yeah, these are definitely the new paddles that we got last year. They are tight. I probably haven't used them in a year, come to think of it. Alright, so our paddles work. And one final thing I wanted to do is use that adapter that you can use for Master System and Mega Drive Genesis controllers here. And Mega 7800 by Retro. And you, let me see, turn this off. Take out that game. I guess we could just pick a game at random. Where's our adapter? So this is a Retro HQ's adapter to use a Genesis controller or a Master System controller for your 7800. And then, you know, any of your 2-button games you'll be able to use. I'm grabbing every controller but. Okay, there's my Master System controller. Just plug that into our Mega 7800. And then just pick a game. It lights up blue, so that means 2-button. Very nice. Oh, just get the game to load. Am I really out of coffee? Yeah, I'm really out of coffee. God darn it. Now this Master System controller itself isn't all that great to begin with, so 2 buttons working. We threw our grenade. So it's working. Now the one other thing that I would like to see is my 8-bit Do Genesis controller. And see if it works in here. But it's been so long since I used the thing. Let's make sure it's paired and everything here. Where did I have it? Try to charge it up real quick for the video. Here's our dongle for it. Plug that in here. Maybe I should have turned that off. And it's working wirelessly. So another alternative. And let's just see. Let's just see if Bentley Bear feels any better with this. Where did I put it? Well, Bentley. I got a mess here. Be so much trouble. There he is. He got buried. Bentley got buried. And you can, they say you can hot swap these games too. Probably saved me a lot of time if I did, but man, it just doesn't feel natural to hot swap games. Still afraid that I'll destroy something. But yeah, I don't know if you can see or not. I probably won't reach the camera, no. But I have my 7800, my Mega 7800 with my 8-bit DE. It's paired up nicely. So, nice alternative if you want something else wireless. Got to buy a few extra things. You got to buy your Genesis controller. You got to buy this Mega 7800 controller. But it's a nice alternative to the new wireless here. I must have a turbo turned on. I think I turned on a turbo by accident. How you turn it off, I don't remember. Not again. Well, I can't find the controller for it this time. It's doing what it should. It's just me. It's just the jump, I believe. But yeah, that works well. So it's another alternative. And very last one that I totally forgot. Totally forgot. And that is Casey's Gold. I haven't even put that in yet. So and then I gotta clean up all this mess out of the living room and get it back to the game room. Do 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 do. Casey's Gold, signed by Dan Kitchen. The day's going on. I heard the mailman out there and everything. Better wrap this up. There it is. Oh, I didn't register yet, but didn't think about that. Oh no, Stampede. Balloon. How do I get the balloon? I don't. Obviously, I haven't played yet, so. I should have got the balloon ahead of time. Another board. Yeah. Yeah, I missed my balloon. I went down there, I couldn't get my balloon. I want to see. I might want to play this with a regular Atari joystick. Did we pass a yellow hatch already? You gotta keep your eyes open and pay attention too. If that's the coal car, then the engine should be over there. Yellow. Oof. Oof. Heck is that? Choo-choo, and there you have it. Okay, so after an hour of gameplay, half-hour intro, we'll probably get another half-hour outro here. But that's it. That's the 7800 Plus with gameplay and the new control pad and everything. So I like it. Very good. Very nice. La la la. Oops. La la la.
According to legend, little folk know Hills is where the toys are. Tag will never be the same with Worlds of Wonders laser tag game. Star cap, star vest, star helmet, and more. Worlds of Wonders the name, Hills is the store. Lots of toys every day. Another reason why they say Hills is where the toys are.
At low prices every day.
What do you want? What do you think? What do you want? I want the latest games anywhere. What do you want? I want the sounds that curl my hair. What do you want? 7800s everywhere. What do you want? I want Atari. I do. What do you want? I want Atari. What do you want? Atari 7800.
Atari's the name of the game, dudes. Check it out at these rad stores.
So there you have it. That's our Atari 7800 Plus from Atari. If it's available, you can get it from the Atari website. You can get it from Amazon like I did. They did crush my box. Somebody did somewhere along the line. But everything checked out. Everything worked. Crazy weather. Last weekend it was 11 degrees. Today, right now it's like 63, 64 degrees. Such a change out here. Don't worry, it'll get cold again. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It played almost everything that I threw at it this time, more than the 2600 Plus did out of the box. I was able to play my homebrew of Baby Pac-Man and of course Popeye, which is a must for me. Still can't play Rampage and Double Dragon from Activision. The original 7800 carts still will not come up. But that's why you still have your old original 7800, right? Hopefully you do. And yes, you can mod it, and you can mod it without drilling out the thing. One other thing that I wanted to mention that I forgot in the intro was about keeping these things alive and going is the power supply for these things. They're unique to the 7800, the end that plugs in. So that's another reason to maybe think about getting the 7800 Plus. You know, these are getting harder and harder to come by. There's a special end on there. Plugs in back there, 2 prongs in the back side. That's what she said. But yeah, I do have 2 of these because I have 2 7800s. So far, knock on wood, they're both working. Another thing that I said that I wanted to point out before was the Atari 2800, which was just the 2600 that was released over in Japan, was a failure over there. That same console pretty much, Sears had it afterwards. It was a Sears Video Arcade 2. I do have one of those right here. The controllers are unique. I forgot to bring one out. Joystick actually works as a paddle as well. It'll swivel. But what I was saying before is these are the same. So GCC made the internals, the guts, and they just reused the 2800 shell. You can see all they did was take off these buttons and the really cool red transparent, translucent here, and they move the buttons down below. So they're the same thing. They just reused it, as you can see on the back. The only difference here really is, I showed you on the 7800 Plus, even though it's a smaller version, they still had this area here to wrap your RF cord around for storage. And that's what I have here on my Sears Video Arcade 2. But the Sears Video Arcade 2 also had your black and white and color switch down here, and it has your channel switch, 3 and 4, or whatever down here. So, well, it says channel A and B, but you know. Yeah. So that's the same shell, just a few things, minor things. Buttons were moved. Buttons were changed, little micro switches underneath there. So that's your 2800 Plus or your Sears Video Arcade 2. Same shell. Same place to wrap an RF cable. And yeah, they even did it on this little puppy here, just for the heck of it. Rip it out. This little mini version of it. Show and tell time, right? 7800. So nice attention to detail there. They have even the vents and everything in the correct place on there. Another thing to note that I don't think I said in my intro, because I don't have things organized here. I did buy a dry erase board, little dry erase board, and I always forget about it. Was supposed to have better sound for your 7800 games. They kept the TIA chip in there because this was backwards compatible with the 2600, of course. So you had your 2600 sounds. They didn't build in the sound chip, the Pokey, into the console itself. So that was going to be an option for companies to put that Pokey sound chip, better sound than the 2600. You know, more on par with what, the 5200. The chips could go in the actual cartridge themselves, but that was going to cost extra. They weren't spending any extra on there. You only have 2 games officially that came out with the Pokey chip. Ball Blazer was one of them, and Commando was the other, with improved sounds. And unfortunately, I didn't bring either of those up. I should have brought them up to play on here today to show them. I really need to sit down and write a script or something for these things and figure out what I want to do. But I do believe I played those both on my video last year for the 2600 Plus, so check that out. I haven't watched it in a year, so I should go back myself and see what games I did play. 2600 games played great on this. Most of the homebrew games that you're gonna get now, like Popeye and stuff for the 7800, they're using a Hokey chip, which is like the Pokey chip for sound. And so yeah, at least they're doing that now, the homebrew we're seeing. These games that are coming out from Atari right now are either reissues like Fatal Run and Ninja Golf and Food Fight, or they're actually games that came out from homebrewers, unofficial releases a few years back on Atari Age, and now they have become official Atari games. So these newer ones like Crystal Quest, they've already been out for a little while, but now Atari is bringing them to us officially, so hopefully they keep that up, and hopefully we get some all new games down the road. I really hope Atari does that. Bring us some all brand new 100% real Atari games, new style. I would love to see that. I think that's all I had to say here. I said a lot. We played a lot. We tried a lot of different things. Again, the homebrew games worked. Baby Pac-Man, Popeye worked great. Rampage and Double Dragon didn't. Oh well. I like it for the price, and I think it's perfectly, you know, if you already have a 2600 Plus and you can do the firmware update yourself, then, and you don't want another one, then you know, you're already good to go. But you know, I end up buying all of this stuff, but I'm really happy with it. And even that wireless controller, now that you don't have that wire right where your hand goes, It felt better. It's still a little snug. The spacing of the buttons is still a little bit much for the whole run and jump thing there for me, but you have options. There are people out there like BD Retro Mods that make controllers for older systems, new ones, great ones, even arcade style sticks for them. And you know, your other options like I showed you was that Mega 7800 attachment there to use your Master System or your Genesis Mega Drive controllers with it. I even got an 8-bit DOE Genesis 6-button controller to work with it. So that was pretty sweet. So that was another cordless option that we had. Lots you can do with it. Not 100% with every game, obviously, but it's a nice option to have. You don't have to worry about older hookups. You don't have to worry about modding an older system. You don't have to worry about an old power supply going bad and then searching frantically or paying a high price for a new one or doing a mod to fix that. You buy the thing. You gotta supply the power brick. That's it. They give you the USB-A to USB-C cord for it and for the controller. You just got to get the brick to plug it in. So, yeah, I think it's worth the money. It was worth the wait. They messed up again, but hey, in the end, I got it in time for Christmas. Hallelujah, it was a Christmas miracle. And again, I want to apologize for not having this video out sooner. I would have liked to have had it out for Christmas Day, but not getting the system until Christmas Eve that night, there just wasn't time to really do anything out of my hands. And the videos have just been slower coming just because, you know, work and things like that. So we'll try to keep them coming. Maybe we'll do some of these games individually in a future video. But as we speak right now, as I'm recording this, it's December the 28th. So I hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you have an exciting, fun, and safe New Year. Stay safe and have fun. Gather the family around an Atari. Get the 7800 plus. Plug the paddle controls in and play you some Kaboom or Circus Atari and your old 2600 games. You know, play some 7800 games that they had never heard of maybe, or you have never heard of before. Pretty nice. The only thing you can't do is put a flash card in with ROMs on it. That does not work that way. So you're out of luck there. You can't just throw ROMs on and play. But you have several other ways to play ROMs if you really want to do that. Thank you for joining me for another great Mr. Poestyle video. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and I hope to see you on the next one. Let me know what you think down below. Did you pick one up? Are you going to pick one up? Do you already have the 2600 plus? Or are you a purist and you only want to use the original consoles from back in the day? Let me know. Later. Bye-bye.
The more game cartridges a video game system plays, the more fun it is. And the Atari 7800 plays more games than the competition, and they're about half the price. Super games like Ball Blazer, one-on-one basketball, summer games, winter games, Karatika, Hat Trick, Impossible Mission, arcade classics like Pole Position, Centipede, Xevious, Deluxe Asteroids, Ms. Pac-Man, Joust, Galaga, Choplifter, Robotron 2084, all 2600 games like Solaris, Midnight Magic, Football, Kung Fu Master, Move Patrol. The Atari 7800. More games at about half the price.
It was Christmas Eve in McDonald's land. Everyone was asleep except Ronald, who had other plans. Out of his bed, he silently crept.
Cuckoo! What are you doing, Ronald?
Shh. I'm giving McDonald's gift certificates to all my friends. So a hamburglar can get a hamburger. And Grimace. Is it Christmas yet? Not yet. Grimace can get a shake. Christmas. Captain Crook, fillet of fish. And the mayor, he'd get a cheeseburger.
So to the chimney Ronald did reach.
You can get them at McDonald's, 50 cents each.
When suddenly bright light shined in his eyes, Ronald turned around amazed and surprised.
Hi, guys. I make too much noise?
Merry Christmas, Ronald!
All his friends had a present for him.
McDonald's gift certificates for me? Oh, gee. And a Merry Christmas to all of you from all of us at McDonald's. Merry Christmas.
Christmas!
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation of cold, crisp mountain air against my face as I race towards liftoff in the whole world championship ski jump.
York peppermint patty. Get the sensation of York's dark, rich chocolate covering a cool, crisp mint center.
And the crowd roars stars as he executes a faultless landing.
Lovely, Arthur. You win a silver.
Get the York sensation.
Oh, Nacho. Come here, Nacho. No biting. No bite. Ooh! No biting! Oh, Nacho, stop!